guys, today we are checking out the AWE OFG single side exit exhaust system with the diamond black tips, fitting all 2015 through 2020 3.5 liter EcoBoost F-150s, excluding the Raptor, and the 2019 to 2020 limited models. Now, if you want a sportier feel to your F-150 and a more aggressive presence, this will be a great system to look into. The sound here is one of the big things that stands out. As you heard, this will increase the volume of the 3.5 mildly, while more importantly, lowering the tone. So I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 on the loudness meter, with 1 being stock and 5 being wake the neighbors loud. Now that will allow you to hear it when you get on it while remaining very comfortable with no drone if you are driving your truck day to day and you're looking for a system that will give you the best of both worlds. Talking a little bit more about the sound, the high flow design here will create a deeper and more throaty tone out of the 3.5 without any raspiness in the high RPM, and no drone thanks to their 180 drone canceling technology. Now this will also work with their performance mid pipes, making this a great starting point for volume that you can upgrade it down the line if you'd like. Now speaking of other mods, while this isn't intended to drastically increase the horsepower and torque of your truck, the improved flow will alleviate some restriction that the factory exhaust had, in turn providing you with small power increases that will be great to support other modifications. Now the dual black chrome tips on the back are just the cherry on top with this system to bump up that sleek and sporty appearance. This will be made of a 3-inch 304 stainless steel construction that is CNC and mandrel bent, which sounds pretty technical, but it really just means that it's going to resist rust incredibly well and hold up for a very long time, while also providing smooth and direct airflow. Now the tips on the back will be 4.5 inches in diameter and will have a double wall / cut construction, which will be durable, but we're really going to add to that high quality aesthetic, especially with that black chrome finish. This system will also come with hangers welded into the factory location and clamps to make sure that this has a solid, no fuss fit. This will come in at about $1,100, which will put this right in the middle when it comes to exhaust pricing. Now this will keep it pretty light on materials because of the configuration being a single side exit system, so it's going to save you a little bit of money there. However, the very high quality stainless used in this build will up that price point, but I definitely think it's worth it if you're looking to invest in an exhaust that will last and look good and sound great while doing it. Install will be a fairly easy 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter and take you about 2 hours to get the job done. At this point though, we can head over to our shop and check out a detailed breakdown on how to get this onto your F-150 at home. So that is going to wrap it up for my review. Let's go ahead and get into the install.
The tools you'll need for this project are an impact gun or 1/2-inch drive ratchet, a 3/8 drive ratchet, a 10mm socket, a 13, a 15, and a 16mm socket. Hi everyone. Today we're installing an exhaust system on our F-150, so let's get started with the uninstall of the stock system. First thing we're going to do on our uninstall is loosen up the 2 bolts that connect the flange from the front to the flange in the back for our resonator section. So we're going to use our 13mm socket and loosen these bolts up. Next thing we're going to do is loosen up the clamp right before our muffler area here using our 15mm socket. Now with this clamp loosened up, what you're going to do is grab a hold of the pipe, and if you're facing the front of the vehicle, you're going to want to turn this front pipe clockwise to go ahead and loosen the lock on the top of the pipe. So you just twist it until it stops, and that will unlock the front pipe from the muffler section. Now we're going to remove these 2 front hangers from this passenger side frame right in front of the muffler using our 10mm socket. There are 2 bolts on each bracket. Now we'll get the second one. Now we're going to remove the hanger from the frame right here at the back of the top of the muffler. again using our 10mm socket. Now before you take out this last isolator, it's a good idea to get yourself a buddy to help hold up the exhaust when you take this down and help you drag it out from underneath the truck. So now we'll use our 10mm socket, remove these last two bolts on this rear isolator, and then we can pull our exhaust out. Now with that isolator out, we can drop it down over the axle and get it out. Now before we actually get to the install of our exhaust system, I just want to let you know we will be reusing most of the hangers that we removed when we took out the stock system. The only one that we won't be using is the very front hanger here on the passenger side rail. That one will not be reused, but the second one behind it will be used. So let's go ahead and get our hangers reinstalled so we can get our system installed. So we'll be reusing the original hardware. And we'll tighten them all down with our 10mm socket. Now we'll reinstall the one in the center of the truck, right in front of the differential. And tighten that with our 10mm socket as well. And now we'll install our rear hanger. And tighten that down with our 10mm. Now the first pipe we're going to install is going to be this coupler that slips into the front pipe that we left on the vehicle. Make sure it's in nice and tight, and then tighten that clamp down with your 15mm socket. All right, now the first thing we're going to do before we install our muffler, of course, is slide a clamp over the inlet side of the muffler. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start from the rear hanger here right above the differential, and then into the hanger on the side of the passenger frame. And then we will slide our muffler over the adapter that we just installed. We'll lift this up into place, start it on the rear hanger, start it on the side hanger, and we can slide the front of the muffler over the coupler. Now we can go ahead and snug up our front clamp here using our 16mm socket. Now we're going to go ahead and slide our clamp over the end of over the axle pipe. And then we can insert the hanger into the isolator at the rear of the truck. And then we'll slide it forward over the exhaust pipe from the muffler. All right, and once you've got that seated properly, we'll go ahead and tighten that up with our 16mm socket. All right, now we can slide a clamp over our merge pipe here at the end. Slide that over our tailpipe, and then we'll tighten that clamp down, snug it down with our 16mm socket. Now we go ahead and slide a clamp over our exhaust tip, and then with the logo facing up, slide it over our tailpipe, and we'll snug it up with our 16mm socket. Now we can do the same thing with the other one. Now at this point, we've got our system completely installed. So it's a good time to go through, look at the system again, make sure that all of your clearances are good. You're not going to run into any hoses or frames or suspension, anything like that. Once you're satisfied that all the clearances are good, go ahead and start from the front, tighten everything down, and finish adjusting it. Now, once you finish adjusting it and getting everything tight, I do recommend that you get some rubbing alcohol and a clean cloth and run through the whole system and give it a good wipe down, especially if you have any polished parts on here. That'll prevent any of your oil or grease or dirt or anything like that that you've got on your hands during the install from burning into the system once it heats up. And that wraps up our review and install of the AWE 0FG single exhaust system with diamond black tips and side exit for your 15 to 20 3.5 liter EcoBoost F-150, excluding Raptor and the 19 to 20 Limited. Thanks for watching, and remember, for all things F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.